Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, because you could just have people just poking you, asking for lottery numbers all the time, or or stupid things, like, you know.
Yeah, she told me I was very brave when I started doing readings professionally.
Yeah, I don't know. I told you a story out there, another story I'm not going to tell, but I told you a story about something that happened to me in a reason. I said nothing about it because you people are pretty silly and they get frightened by stuff that they can't explain. And I believe some people are more receptive than others. And I don't think that, not to minimize any kind of psychic abilities, but I think that intuition is becoming a lost art in general, and just the way people are. I don't think people have intuition of what's going on around them. I don't think they're paying attention. I think if the world gets bigger than the size of a phone screen, I think people can't handle it. And then stress counselors have to come in and we have to set up a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter to get everybody better.
Well, it's one thing I've always been about. Mother's intuition is completely ignored now, especially, in hospitals or women are having babies, and mother's intuition, it's nothing to do with anything there. They're not believed or trusted to know.
They're always trying to pursue a medical angle.
Yeah, well, yeah, mother's intuition in general, which is pretty strong, is ignored in most cases, in most medical cases, at least, I think. But that was my thing for a while before I realized that I might be able to do something.
How many readings do you do in a month?
I can do a few readings a night. That's what I was doing for a while. It comes and goes, people.
Do you ever have times when you just can't get it done, like any job, you can't concentrate?
Hasn't happened yet. But my son was sick, so I had to reschedule. Stuff happens.
And you don't do them in person. It's all pictures. And
yeah.
Would you ever consider doing one in person, or is that something you feel like you might grow into in the future, but not now?
Yeah. I feel like in the future is possible.
You have 2 children. You're married.
Yes.
How's your husband with the psychic thing?
He says that's fine.
But let's pretend I'm not a skeptic. Let's say that you can read the thoughts of men. That's not a really comfortable position for him to be in there at ground zero all the time, because women can normally pick up on the thoughts of men, and
he thinks he's intuitive too. So he thinks he understands what's going on. So, he
thinks he's intuitive?
Yeah.
Do you think he's intuitive?
He can be, of people sometimes.
I think guys' version of intuitive is different than woman's version of intuitive. I think, I think that guys think that they're on top of their game. We're like, you're mad at me, aren't you? And people across the way can see it. Yeah, she's about to hit you.
Yeah.
And that's different. Whereas women are like, the baby's crying because of blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's different skill sets there. We're using the same word, but it means different things.
Exactly. Yeah, I think you're right.
Would you consider yourself, with this, does this by default make you a more spiritual person?
Yes.
Okay. How does that impact what came first, the spirituality or the intuitive ability?
I realized I had more of an ability than most people, or I'm able to use it more. And then with that came an exploration to a more spiritual place that I had never really thought of or touched on. I'm an agnostic, so I'm not religious. So I never really, I have not dealt with anything spiritual.
But you have faith and you believe in something.
So you're something, yeah, something bigger than us. Yeah,
no, I get that. I don't always believe in pigeonholing it and saying that I like the color black and black is the best color, and anybody who doesn't like black is wrong. I just don't buy into that, but I do believe that about black, actually. But that's a separate thing. I just use that example to be totally hypocritical. And your dark blues, I'm okay with your really, really dark blues, but not your light colors or patterns. Patterns shouldn't be put on adults. How different was your life a year ago before you were doing this and everything?
I think it's a lot more. It was a lot more short-sighted. Now it's there's an expansion in a sense that I have the opportunity to help people and also grow myself, learn about myself. So it's much more optimism, I would say, in that sense.
If you think back a year ago, was there something in you that was trying to get out that is this now?
No, we were just in a very difficult place.
Yeah.
So as a family, so there was more like survival mode. There's not really a chance to explore anything else.
So you were kind of locked down by circumstances.
Yes, exactly.
Do you feel that this ability has helped you in the past and you didn't know it?
Yes.
Like avoid horrible things?
Yes.
Any examples of that?
I had my boys at home because I knew going to a hospital would not go well for me.
Why not?
That's, there's no way to prove that, but I did not believe it was the best option, or I felt very fearful. I'm fearful in general of the hospitals, but I thought that having them in a hospital was not the right decision. So I had them at home.
Is that a fear of medicine practices? Or both,
interventions during labor. I didn't think that I knew that I could do it myself. So I had my boys at home. That's one circumstance I can think of. And
do you think that from when you initially got this ability to now, it's been a short time, do you feel it getting refined or growing?
Yeah, I've come up with some different methods or ideas about how to go about a reading. I've talked to a couple psychics who have never really read like I do. I'll cover half of someone's face and then the other half of someone's face and then read their whole face and then picture them in their life. And no one else seems to read like that. I didn't realize I was doing it any differently or there was a way to do it. So that was interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting when you don't know how to do something, so you don't know that what you're doing is right or wrong. It's just what you organically decide to do, and sometimes you invent better ways without knowing that that's wrong. Wrong. And we've had to deal with a lot of people that are, say they have different gifts, and my assistant chief has a whole system down, and he sat down with you, and he's very thorough with it. He narrows down every bit of data, and he's very thorough. He writes up this lengthy report that I have to go through. He's comparing you to the other psychic, and what we do is, it's like a psychic steel cage match, and what it is that we have to look at. We know some facts in a case, and then we have people saying things. And then what's of particular interest is, the first thing we do is write down everything, and then we cross out anything that's just not accurate by the facts that we know. And then we start looking for things that both of the people said. and we start to narrow down. We see, I remember there were 2 points where you and the other person were very, very similar. That is something that we will definitely be on the lookout for. Mm-hmm. I think that a lot of people have these abilities, but I think a lot of people, from that raw thing that forms and gives them the vision or whatever, I think that somehow before it pops to the top, I think they muddy it up with experience and outside influences and stuff, and they try to overinterpret it sometimes.
Right. Yeah, it's first impressions are really much easier to get a reading on than something you've been thinking about for a long time.
Yeah, and there's like marketing stuff that says that you make your first impression in like 4 or 5 seconds or whatever, and that's pure. And because it's pure like that, it's usually accuracy is right there, and we pollute it over time by and because at that first impression, it's so pure and innocent and spontaneous that people don't have the opportunity to even trick us at that point, because it's not enough time to even hold an act up. What do you see yourself doing with this in the future? Where will you be in a year with this, you think? I don't
know.
So you're going to get mad, but shouldn't you?
What?
You're going to get mad at me for saying it, but shouldn't you?
I don't know how far it will go, but I know that I will continue to help people. It's been a nice side job as far as doing readings at night once my boys are in bed. It's better than having to go out and work babysitting whenever I can get it, so that I would be away from them. So it's worked out in that sense, but I feel bad charging people for it, because it seems like it's a very spiritual connection you have with someone, and then you're charging them for the reading. It feels a little off, but I've been trying to deal with that because I need to make a living.
Well, yeah. I mean, feeling bad for it is good. Is good. It shows that you've got some ethics and morality, and the survivalist part of you likes to eat food and sleep indoors. And there's that compromise that we make when we sell our skills, you know. Yeah. And if you don't take care of yourself, you can't help anybody else. And there's I've come to peace with that just recently. It takes a while, where it's like you can't give everything away for free all the time, and you get stuck in this volunteer mode when you're doing it. And there's a difference between the people that give it away all the time, and you do deserve the right to survive. And then there's the people that want to live in gold houses, my idea of being rich is never having to do laundry or sniff lunch meat again. That would be rich. That would be rich. Just be able to randomly grab a piece of Gouda and eat it, and have fancy cheeses like Gouda.
Cheese.
Yeah.
Rich. Okay.
Yeah. That would be, does Gouda mean something else? I guess I just grab something to eat it. I didn't know what I said.
No.
Do you think do you see yourself ever moving to doing it in person or over the phone?
Possibly. I feel like right at this moment I'm very distracted by energies around me. Okay. And other people talking. There's a certain amount of anxiety that goes with it. Is somebody sitting there in front of you waiting for you to say something accurate about them? That's a little scary to me. So, so if it, at some point, hopefully I will be able to do that. But right now I'm happy to do it online.
What if somebody didn't have the money to pay you? Would you do it still? I
have done some for people who...
I figured that. You look like a soft touch. Does everybody know that you do this? Or do you have some friends that you just like, I'm not going to bring it up with them. They're not even going to get it.
I think most people know, but I'm pretty sure a lot of them don't believe me or are skeptical, which is fine. but I haven't hid it from anybody.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit in the after show, and we'll do that, and we'll do a quick after show, and Russell will roll the music.